Hey guys, I'm coming at you from Cairo today. You can see next to my ear this building and the other building right there, the outline of the two pyramids, or one Great Pyramid of Giza and the other as well, right at the top here. I'm on the balcony of my hotel here at the Four Seasons, and I thought of the Egyptian sun as I look upon it. It's so beautiful. And I thought about two ways that property investors get blinded these days. The first way they get blinded is through too much information, and the second reason or way is through not enough information. When there's no light of the sun, you're blind, right? But when you're looking up at that thing and it's so bright, there's so many rays, you're also blinded. Too much information blinds you if you can't contextualize it. And this is how buyer's agents use that to convince you that you need to use their services. A $15,000 big box, big marketing, churn and burn buyer's agent will use 5 reasons why you as the first home buyer, you as the first time property investor must use them. Otherwise, there will be consequences. In this episode, I'll break down those 4 reasons, or 5 reasons rather, and contextualize them, and how with systematic structured learning, you can do this yourself even better than them, even as a first timer. So here's number 1, saving time. Everyone knows, oh, I'll use a buyer's agent. I'm super busy. I don't have any time. I'm going to use a buyer's agent. Now, the reality is that often using a buyer's agent takes more time than it does doing it yourself. Doing it yourself takes about 3 to 5 hours a week, I won't lie, over 1 to 2 months to buy a high-performing property, with systematic education and mentoring. I'm not talking about people who are just going to be, watching days worth of YouTube videos, Facebook forums, property chat, books, etc. I'm not comparing it to that. I'm comparing the buyer's agent claim where they're better than you, but I'm comparing it to versus systematic structured training with mentorship. Using a buyer's agent is not time free. First of all, you have to find a buyer's agent. Now, if you find like 5 or 10, first of all, you'll be consuming a lot of content of theirs to even figure out which one you want to use. And then you got to go through the process of signing up. You got to then tell them what your brief is, what your strategy is, because buyer's agents don't deliver or develop a bona fide strategy for you most times. And so that all takes hours and hours. You got to get them on the right page, the same page as you. And then they have their agenda, they're trying to sell you properties because ultimately they get paid when you buy a property. So then you need to rebuttal, you need to go back every time they send you an email. This is the one, PK. You got to go back to them and say, no, why is that the one? Why is that not the one? There's a lot of inquiry back and forth because you're not educated. If you were educated, it would just take you 3 to 5 hours a week. All right, so it still takes a lot of time with the buyer's agent. And then as soon as you've signed the dotted line, you still have to liaise with the mortgage broker. They'll connect you with one, sure. You still have to liaise with the conveyancer. They'll connect you with one for sure. You still have to liaise with the property manager. They'll connect you with one for sure. But you still have to do this hard work. And then when this property is yours, you've got the keys, then they're out the door. It's yours, okay? You need to have understood what you're buying for you to be able to manage that thing. So using a buyer's agent, yes, they will buy you a property within 1 to 2 months, but it will also take you 3 to 5 hours a week, at least, just to manage them. Because if you just leave it to them, outsource it completely, well, who knows what they're going to buy you. And so you need to have enough understanding to be able to challenge them and then do the legwork anyway in terms of liaising with that team. So that's point number 1. It actually doesn't save you time versus a educated and mentored first-time property investor. The second thing they'll sell you as is that they have access to more properties, like off-market properties, for example. Now, the reality is, and I've done so many videos on this, and I'm genuinely telling you this, I know I've got an agenda and all that sort of thing, but try to hear me out. Buyer's agents do not have access to properties that you and I don't have access to. Off-market properties can be gained by anyone by simply finding out the top agents through a website like ratemyagent.com.au in a suburb, and then you can develop a relationship with them by just calling them once a week for 5 minutes. And then that sales agent, not buyer's agent, that sales agent will start working for you. They know what you're looking for. They will start selling or sending you properties. Okay, of course, you need to build that relationship, but that doesn't take years. That takes a matter of minutes every single week. And you just have to do that maybe with 3 to 5 agents. And then if there's any off-market deals, and let's be honest, most off-market deals are not that great anyway, then they'll start sending you properties. So this thing of like, oh, we have these secret properties, there's no such thing as a secret property. All that a sales agent wants to do is sell that property. He doesn't care whether it's off market, on market, buyer's agent, non-buyer's agent. They just want a professional, considered, and someone that's not going to muck them around. If you're that sort of investor, then they will buy and sell properties to and from you as much as a buyer's agent. That is the experience I've had in helping people buy more than 3,000 properties. The third thing that buyer's agents will say is that if you're a first-time property investor, you have a higher chance of making a mistake than if you use them. Now, it's kind of hard to argue with that, like, let's be honest. And once again, coming back to the premise, I'm not saying that if someone is uneducated, they won't make mistakes. Of course they're going to make mistakes, but if someone has structured and systematic education and handholding and mentoring, then they will not make mistakes, less so, if any, than a buyer's agent. And the reason I can be so confident about this is, well, a buyer's agent has an agenda. Let's be honest, like, we all have agendas, we all have innuendos, none of us are doing this as a charity work, right? What is the buyer's agent's agenda? A buyer's agent, especially a big buyer's agent, I'm not talking about all buyer's agents here, boutique small buyer's agents are different, but the big ones taking on 10, 20, 30 clients a week or a month, and you'll know them, right? They're the ones you know about because they advertise the most. They have to go through you really quickly to be able to make their business model work. They've got 20, 30, 40, 50 people working for them. They've got a big wait list of clients. There's not that many good properties out there, guys. It's not like there are unlimited residential properties that are just perfect, ticking every box every day of the week. So what a buyer's agent does, maybe not due to being like malicious, but just by virtue of their business model that needs to feed this big back end, this big administration burden, this big, staff heavy labor cost, they need to go through you. And so there are not 30 awesome properties, in every market to buy every month. So they need to sell you properties that perhaps don't make the grade. And because you're not educated, right? Presumably that's the reason you're using a buyer's agent, because you don't know the right questions to ask them. You've just become enamored by watching them on different social platforms, and you're like, these guys know more than me, I gotta use these guys, right? Because that is your mindset, you will say yes to a property you should not say yes to. And look, the head guy, the head person you see in the marketing, in the buyer's agent business, they may be a terrific fellow, but the people that they hire, 6 months experience, 12 months experience, 18 months experience, maybe they have KPIs to meet, maybe they want to take shortcuts. A business is only as good as its lowest common denominator, especially a buyer's agent business, right? So you have to understand, are they going to take shortcuts to quickly send you properties so they make money? Remember, they get paid when you buy a property. They are effectively sales agents that you pay for. Now, I know that seems very, very heavily biased, but that's my way of thinking about it. Buyer's agents get paid when you buy a property. Think about it. That's the same as a sales agent, right? Of course, they're getting paid by you, but so is the sales agent, because they're only going to get paid when you buy the property. So where does the incentive structure lie? So in my experience, mistakes happen just as much, if not more, with these big box buyer's agents than they do with DIY investors who are and what to speak of those who are educated and trained. And those guys don't make mistakes because it's your own financial future. No one cares about your money as much as you do. So people doing it by themselves, for themselves, with a mentor, they're gonna think 3 times before signing on the dotted line. They're not gonna be pressured into anything. Large network of support. Buyer's agents will say, well, we bring you the whole team, property managers, conveyancers, accountants, what else is there? Building and pest inspectors, etc., mortgage brokers. Well, same with any, not just me, same with any educator or mentor or anyone like that. We all provide the whole team as well. The only difference is they don't work for me. I don't get, they're not on my salary. They're just people that I've used. I recommend you can use whoever you want, but these are good people that you pay yourself. And so you don't need to use a buyer's agent just because you don't have that team. You will get that team regardless. And even if you don't do your buying with a course creator or a mentor, Facebook groups and other places, it's so easy to build your team. In fact, when you go through the process of building your team, then you actually know what a good team constitutes, how to find a good broker, a good conveyancer, a good property manager, how to manage these people. You don't just get given them to you. They may or may not be good. Maybe there's internal kickbacks and things like that. And then you're stuck. You're like, how do I use these people? And you're always reliant on the buyer's agent who's off because you've already paid them. The property is settled. All right, so think about that. The fourth and fifth reason that buyer's agents say that you need to use them is that you can buy interstate and they will negotiate for you better than you can do yourself. Now, let's just assess that interstate, anyone can do it if you can use data to select suburbs, which anyone can do with the right structured training and mentorship, and also using property managers and building and pest inspectors on the ground to do your legwork, to be your eyes and ears, boots on the ground, local know-how that sometimes data can't give you. If you can use property managers and building and pest inspectors, in fact, that's who buyer's agents use. So just skip the middleman. That covers the interstate piece, right? And then this whole negotiation piece. Oh, I've negotiated 1 million property transactions. I've been in the market for 7 years, 10 years, 20 years, 3 years. I can tell you, a brand new negotiator, if they are trained and have someone holding their hand, is just as good as, if not better, than someone who's got 5 years experience, 10 years experience. That's a preposterous claim. How could you possibly say that, PK? Well, 2 points. One is that someone is on your side saying, okay, I think you should negotiate this way, or in this environment you should do this. If you have actually someone whispering in your ear as you're negotiating, mentorship on demand, that anyone can do this. This is not a tug of war. Negotiation is not a tug of war. It's a point of win-win. How can we create a win-win situation? Which, by the way, is not what most buyer's agents, certainly not what big box buyer's agents do. See, what is their incentive to get you down $5,000, to get you down $10,000, to get you down $20,000? I want you to think about this, right? No one else talks about this, and when I talk about it, people think I'm buyer's agent bashing, but tell me if this makes sense, right? Let's say I'm a buyer's agent, which I'm not. I've got this property for $400,000. The sales agent says, look, PK, if you sell this to your client for $400,000, deal is done. I know, as the buyer's agent, hopefully, that this property is only really worth $380K. The sales agent's like, well, mate, 400 and you've got it for your client. What do I do? Do I play hardball with the risk of losing that property? Do I play hardball, increasing my workload, going back and forth with my client, back and forth with the sales agent, who in turn goes back and forth with the seller, the vendor? It becomes a real struggle, a hassle, and the sales agent then thinks, hi, PK is kind of hard to deal with. I like him and all, but he's a tough taskmaster. As a buyer's agent, do I want to take that route, or do I just tell my client, hey, client, Mrs. PK or whatever it is, look, I reckon 400K is a good price for this, and it's in a growth corridor and ticks all the boxes, and here's the infrastructure outlook, here's a 3 bullet point email why you should buy this property, which, by the way, the client doesn't know is true or not because they're not educated. If they were educated, they wouldn't use a buyer's agent because it doesn't save them any time, right? We already established that. So think about the incentive. I've been on the hunt for this guy for 1 or 2 months as a buyer's agent. I just want to make my money. I just want to make my $15,000. I don't get paid any more if I negotiate $5, $10, $15, $20,000 off you. In fact, it increases my diligence required, it increases my workload. It separates me from the sales agents who I really need to send me so many more deals because I can't fulfill all these clients that are coming to me because my advertising is so amazing. Just think about that. Look, I know I'm being cynical, but it's my job to put it out there, and then we can have a debate. Now, I don't want people to look at this video and be like, look, PK, you're just trying to sell your course and you're bagging out buyer's agents. I have trained more than 75 amazing buyer's agents, boutique buyer's agents with ethics, with competence, with character. Buyer's agents are not the problem. The problem is when buyer's agents, especially big box, big name, one's on Smart Property Investor magazine, and all over big YouTube, all over, what I'm talking about. It's when they use these 5 points that I've just covered. Let's just go through them. Saving time, access to more properties, higher chance of mistakes, lack of support in the network and buying interstate and negotiation. When they use these points to convince you that you, as the first time property investor, are better off paying $15,000 for the privilege of using them, that is what I can't swallow. Now, if you genuinely must use a buyer's agent because you have no interest in learning, that's completely fine, right? And if you completely happy to outsource with no questions asked, you don't even want to vet the deals, you don't want to even ask any questions about the suburb, and you don't have 3 to 5 hours a week, then use a buyer's agent. Don't use these big box buyer's agents that use these 5 points to win your business. Guys, I hope you understand the spirit in which I'm delivering this. The most important investment is not in real estate or a buyer's agent, but rather in yourself. Please invest in the 6 inches, that real estate between your 2 ears. And like the Egyptian sun, where is it? I don't know if you can still see the pyramids. Yeah, they're right next between the end of the camera and that big building. Right at the top you can see the 2 pyramids. Like the Egyptian sun, it can illuminate you in your property investing journey. It can reward you tremendously. But if you don't have glasses on, if you just look at the sun, there's so much information that pours down, so many sun rays, that you'll be like, oh my God, this is all too much. I'm just gonna outsource this. Hopefully someone does it better than I can. If you're in that state of mind, guys, either blinded or blinded by too much information, then this video hopefully was helpful, because that is exactly why you should not use a buyer's agent. Break through, cut through that abundance of misinformation online through structured and systematic learning. There's lots of people offering that. You don't have to go with me, but my agenda is that you become educated so that you can see through the buyer's agent BS. Hey, hit the subscribe button, give it a like. My name's PK. Once again, I respect and admire and love all of you amazing buyer's agents who don't do this, right? Who are actually ethical, and especially my clients, the 75 plus that I've trained. But those big box buyer's agents, this is really intended to be produced so people don't use them, at least not for these reasons. My name's PK. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. Salam from Egypt. Bye.